Okay, so there's a fair chance that either at level 1 or level 2, you may be asked to write an article for a newspaper or a magazine as one of your tasks. And to show this, I'm going to show you two examples. This one is from level 2, and it's asking you to write an article. This is actually based on the previous task, which is about writing a letter of application for a music festival. But it's asking you to write an article imagining you've been to the festival, you've worked at the festival, and you really enjoyed it. And the second task we'll look at is for level 1, and it's asking you to write an article about a memorable day in your life as part of an application process to become a journalist. And there's quite an important tip to take away from here. Now, if you think about it, it'd be completely unfair to ask you to write an article about something you know nothing about. Everyone knows what a music festival is, for the level 2 one that I just showed you. And even if you're a bit unsure on what happens at a music festival, the first task will give you some information there. So it gives you some ideas about the things that might be going on at the music festival. So you've got plenty of information to draw out to write your article on. This one here, a memorable day in your life, that's quite a common topic because it's something that anyone can write on. You know, you don't have to have a lot of background knowledge for. Other examples can include things like role models, who you think is a good role model, or a memorable day at school. They will ask you something, they'll ask you to write an article about something that you are going to know about. So there's not going to be any surprises here. They're not going to ask you to write an article on, I don't know, trade deals with China or something that only a few people in the world really know that much about. So that's a good little tip. So, we've got our tasks, and obviously you'd do your SLAP planning. You'd work out the situation, the layout that you're going to use. In this case, it's going to be an article. The audience, so are you going to be writing formally or informally, and what the purpose is. Are you persuading people or are you describing? And if you're a bit stuck on SLAP, you can always revisit the section on the Moodle for that. So, let's have a look at what articles actually look like. So I've got 3 examples here. This first one is from a local paper. So we can see here we've got our headline, we've got our author's name, and we've got the date. And as we go down, we can see you've got a nice big headline here. You've got an introduction as well. So you've got the first paragraph, just gives you a broad overview of the story, doesn't it? It's saying the care home could face urgent enforcement action after being put into special measures and again being rated inadequate. And it goes on to say where that is. You've also got a picture as an illustration, and you'll notice you've got a nice little caption down here which tells you something about the picture. And as we scroll down, we can see more text where the article is going into more detail. And you've got a nice little quote here from someone. So again, as it's reporting, they might often quote people. So let's have a look at the second example. This one is taken from a tabloid newspaper, in this case the Mirror. And again, we've got our headline here. We've got an author, and we've got a date. We've got a picture with a caption, which tells you something about it. And again, what we're seeing here is the first few lines are giving us an overview, a broad overview of what the story is about. So that's a really good tip there. Once you've got your headline, once you've got your author's name, which is going to be your name obviously, and the date, your introductory paragraph is just going to give the reader a broad overview of what's going on in the story. Okay? Now, let's have a look at this article. This one's taken from a broadsheet newspaper, The Guardian. And again, even though I've given you 3 very different newspapers, we're seeing the same layout features. We're seeing a headline, we're seeing pictures, we are seeing captions under the pictures telling you what the picture's about, and we are seeing the author's name and a date. And we're seeing an introductory paragraph giving you a broad overview of what's going on here. So depending on what you're asked to do, depending on whether you're asked to write an article for a local paper, a broadsheet paper or a tabloid paper, your writing style is going to be different. Generally speaking, if you're asked to write for a broadsheet newspaper, you're going to be more formal. If you're asked to write for a tabloid, you're going to be slightly more informal. You're still going to include things like pictures. You're still going to include things like a caption under the picture telling you what the picture's about. You're still going to have your headline. You're still going to have your author. You're still going to have your date. And you're still going to have your introductory paragraph. Now, obviously, no one in the exam, no one marking your exam is going to expect you to actually draw a picture for your article. So what can you do instead? Well, one thing you can do is you can literally just draw a box and put a cross through it. Or write picture on the box and write your caption underneath it explaining what the picture is. Because that shows the examiner that yes, you know that an article should have a picture with it. So you get those nice points for layout. Without you having to spend half an hour doing a beautiful sketch or something like that, which obviously you don't want to do in an exam situation. So there you go. There's how to approach the article questions in the writing paper, should you get them.